Numbers chapter 27, verse number 1. And it says, then drew near towards Mishlu. Then drew near the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hefer. That's it, baby. Thank you. Son of Gilead, son of Mashir, son of Manasseh, from the clans of Manasseh, the son of Joseph. The names of his daughters were Mahlah, Noah, Haglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. This is the story. And they stood before Moses and before Eleazar the priest and before the chiefs and all the congregation at the entrance of the tent of meeting, saying, our father died in the wilderness. He was not among the company of those who gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but died for his own sin. And he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be taken away from his clan because he had no son? Give to us a possession among our father's brothers. Moses brought their case before the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, the daughters of the Zelophehad are right. You shall give them possession of an inheritance among their father's brothers and transfer the inheritance of their father to them. And you shall speak to the people of Israel, saying, if a man dies and has no son, then you shall transfer his inheritance to his daughter. When you look at somebody beside you and say, I refuse to lose it all.
I refuse to lose it all.
Yeah, look at somebody else on the other side as you take your seat and 7 under is dismissed and say, I refuse to lose it all.
I refuse to lose it all.
One of the things that I learned as a woman in this life is that sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. Do y'all mind if I preach to the women today? As women, we have moments of great triumph and also moments of unmerciful defeat. There are innumerable highs, but also infinite lows. Do I have a woman that's a witness? There are times when it seems that all we do is win. And other times when it not only rains on us, but it pours. Amen. That's part of the beauty of this journey through life as a woman. We must learn to maneuver up on the mountain as well as down in the valley. Amen. We must nurture, we must support, we must thrive, we must press and persevere whether or not we're winning or losing. I don't know about any other woman in the house, but when I look back over my life, it's these moments of extremes that stand out the most. The storage unit of my mind usually either lands on times of great joy or times of great sorrow. I remember the first time that I beat my cousin Boo and I declared war. It was a great win. And I remember the first time that my cousin Bonetta beat me in a foot race. It was a great loss. I remember the first time that I ate a fresh Scuffadine grape off the vine. It was a wonderful discovery. Y'all don't know nothing about that, city people. And then I remember the first time that I found half of a worm in an apple off the apple tree. It was a terrible revelation. I remember the moment that I pushed my baby from my body. It was a moment of awesome joy. And then I remember the first day of postpartum depression. It was a day of deep sorrow. That's how life is. It's victories and defeats. It's triumphs and it's failures. It's ups and it's downs. There are wins, but there will also be losses. But what I've made up in my mind today, Sherelle, is that I refuse to lose it all. Yeah, I'll take some hits to Neil, and I'll leave some stuff on the table. I will yield to some battles, but what I will not do, I refuse to lose it all. Can I pause right here for just a moment and ask if there's a woman in the house that's ever come close to losing it all? Yeah, is it one woman in here that can testify about being almost at the bottom of the barrel? I'm talking about at the end of your rope, about to throw in the towel, almost at the point of no return, left with few or little options. But then, in spite of everything I already lost, you had to do a pivot on the enemy and say, I refuse to lose it all. I just need to know who I'm preaching attention to. I just need to know if I'm the only one that says I'm okay with losing a lot. And I've learned how to handle losing a ton, but I refuse to lose it all.
That's right.
You can take a piece of me.
That's it.
You can break me all the way down, but I refuse to. I might not keep everything. I might not retain all that I want, but I'm bound and determined that I cannot, and I will not, and I shall not lose it all. I won't lose it all. I can't lose it all. I refuse to lose it. I lost my car and my house, but I ain't gonna lose my mind. I refuse to lose it all. I lost my job and my mama, but I ain't gonna lose my child. I refuse to lose it all. I lost my hair and I lost my shape, but I ain't gonna lose my sight. I refuse to lose it all. I'm just preaching to the women. I lost my promotion and I lost my loan, but I ain't gonna lose my best friend. I refuse to lose it all. I lost my marriage and I lost my pride, but I ain't gonna lose my confidence. I refuse to lose it all. I lost my baby and I lost my virginity, but I ain't gonna lose my sister. I refuse to lose it all. I lost my church and my breast to cancer, but I ain't gonna lose my creativity. I refuse to lose it all. I lost my grandma and I lost my husband, but I ain't gonna lose my business. I refuse to lose it all. I need some women in the house today that know what it's like to have to take a loss. I lost my holiness and my way, but I ain't gonna lose my hope. I refuse to lose it all. I lost my apartment and I lost my wig, but I ain't gonna lose my voucher. I refuse to lose it all. I lost my daddy and my baby daddy, but I ain't gonna lose my son. I refuse to lose it all. I dare some women in here that already took some L's in 2019 to throw your head back in this house and say, I refuse to lose it all. I believe, Sharonda, that this is what these sisters, the daughters of Zelophehad, were saying in the text today.
Come on now.
Kim, they said, we lost our daddy. We lost our covering, but we refuse to lose it all. To give some framework to the story, let me remind us that this story takes place after the children of Israel have been released from bondage in Egypt. And they're on their way to the promised land. This story is just before they are about to inhabit that land. And God tells Moses to take a census for two reasons. First, so they could see how many men they had for battle. And secondly, so that they could prepare to divide up the promised land. And the land was to be divided by tribe. That's when these daughters of Zelophehad realized that their father's portion was about to be forfeited because he had died and had no sons. And because of this, they were about to lose it all. So they go to Moses and Eleazar, who are conducting the census, to compel them to give them their portion of their father's land. For without the land, they had nothing. Without the land, there was no way for them to grow crops to eat or to sell. And there was nothing that they could capitalize on for a dowry when they got married. So if they lost the land, then they lost everything. And they said, we refuse to lose it all. I admire these women, and I thank God for their example being included in the canon of scriptures. For it gives us as women and men of God a blueprint of what to do after we've made a declaration or refusal to lose the totality of what we have. What do we do, Pastor Ken, when we're at risk for losing it all? How do we respond when there's a possibility that we're about to be wiped out? Let's follow this blueprint of Mela and Noah and Hagla and Milcah and Tirzah that they laid out, shall we? First of all, when we refuse to lose it all, the first thing that we have to do is remind ourselves what belongs to us.
Amen.
At some point, Rodney, prior to where this story picks up in the text, the daughters of Zelophehad must have had a conversation about what belonged to them. Because when the story picks up, all 5 of the sisters are together and they go to make their request. So prior to that, there had to have been a discussion where they talked about what was going to happen to the land of their father. And if I could imagine the conversation in my mind, I imagine that somebody said, we're about to go into the promised land. And the Lord has said that the land there is going to belong to all of his people. So that means that if our father were here, then some of that land would have belonged to him. And since we are his only heirs, then that land should, simply based on our bloodline, belong to us.
That's right.
Now, listen, society says we shouldn't have it. People say that we shouldn't have it. Somebody will say that we don't deserve it. And some man will say that we can't handle it. But based on our bloodline, that land belongs to us. And we refuse to lose it all. And I believe that some women in here on Mother's Day need to go back and have a conversation. Somebody in here needs to take a step back and have a discussion about what belongs to you. Because too many times we let people talk us out of what we have and out of all of the things that we should be able to take hold of. And then we lose it all. But I want to push us in here today to be reminded of what belongs to us. That peace belongs to you. That joy belongs to you. That second chance belongs to you. That opportunity belongs to you. That love belongs to you. And you must refuse to lose it all. That success belongs to you. That destiny belongs to you. That confidence belongs to you. And you cannot allow yourselves to forget that it belongs to you, and you can allow yourself to be denied. Because the truth of the Bible is that it's not just a simple declaration. It's based on your bloodline. Because they can't change who your daddy is. That means they can't change what belongs to you. Y'all know where I'm going. Come on and tell somebody beside you, it's based on my bloodline. Yeah, look at somebody on the other side and say, it's based on my bloodline. It's not based on my education. And it's not based on my past. It's not based on my salary. It's based on my bloodline. And everything that should be mine is because of my bloodline. It's not based on where I work. And it's not based on where I live. It's not based on who my mama is. It's based on my bloodline. Do I have any people in the house today that understand the fact that because of who your daddy is, you got to get an understanding of what belongs to you? Because they said you're an heir to Jesus Christ. Everything that belongs to God also belongs to me. It's not based on what your record is downtown. It's not based on what your manager wrote up on your review. It's not based on what somebody wrote about you on social media. Everything that belongs to me is based on my bloodline. I need somebody in the house today that'll think back on what the Bible promised. It said I'd be the lender, not the borrower. And it was based on my bloodline. It said I'd have life more abundantly. And it was based on my bloodline. It said I was the head and not the tail. And it declare what we refuse to lose, that we refuse to lose it all, we're going to have to confront what stands between us and our possession. I want us to realize, Kelly, how bold these 5 sisters were. We must understand that their power move in the temple was extraordinary. Here we have a group of women with no man noted to back them up, standing in the tent of the meeting, requesting that the rules be changed. The priests were there, and the leaders were there, and they were standing between them and the possession of their father's land. And these bold young women confronted them in front of everybody in order to make sure that they didn't lose it all. And in order to make a practical example of the story, think about the priests and the leaders in the story as whatever it is that could possibly cause you to lose everything. They symbolize the things that block us and trip us up and derail us and put us in danger of total forfeiture of our blessings. Maybe it's an addiction that stands in the way. Maybe it's a character flaw that stands in the way. Maybe it's a relationship that stands in the way. But if we refuse to lose it all, we've got to confront whatever it is that stands between us and our possession. We've got to be bold about changing the status quo. And the issue with us as women, I'm preaching to you because I love you, is that sometimes we get timid when it's time to bring stuff to the table. We get a little shy in moments when we really need to assert ourselves because we love so hard. And we forgive so much. We often let things slide when we really should be calling it to the carpet. I'm not talking about showing out, and I'm not talking about acting up, not acting. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about Christian confrontation to get things out of the way of your blessing. I'm talking about a power move. Will you fist bump a woman beside you and explode it and tell them it's time for you to make a power move? Yeah, find another woman in the house that looks like she's got something that belongs to her and tell her it's time for you to make a power move. I'm not talking about hollering and cussing. I'm not talking about sneaking and manipulating. I'm not talking about paying back tit for tat. I'm talking about a power move because we refuse to lose it. How do I make a power move, Pastor Kim? Well, let's look at what the women did. Number one, they stated the facts. They didn't embellish. They didn't exaggerate. They said, our father has died and he had no sons. They stated the facts. Number two, I want you to get this part. They questioned the barrier. They said, why should the name of our father be taken away because he had no son? They said, why should we not be able to take possession of what belongs to us? They questioned the barrier. And then number three, this is the easy part. But the easy part, they stated what they wanted. It was a power move. I don't read that there were any tears, Tamara. I didn't read that they were hysterical and shouting. I didn't read that they had a tantrum or that they were pouting and playing silent. They simply told them what it was that they wanted. It was a power move. Listen to me clearly, woman of God. For some of us that are almost out of time, for some of us that are at the end of our rope, now and right now is the time for you to pull yourself together and get ready to make a power move. God told me to tell somebody in the house, you've been crying long enough. You've been begging long enough. You've been laying down long enough. You've been bowing long enough. And God sent me here to tell you that it's time to make a power move. Come on and repeat after me. Say, state the facts.
State the facts.
Question the barrier. And ask for what you want. Come on, say, state the facts. Question the barrier. And ask for what you want. I just want us to repeat it so we know how to use it. Come on, say, state the facts. Question the barrier. And ask for what you want. Before you lose it all. move, that God was on their side. They said, we've been quiet long enough. We have waited long enough. I've been patient long enough. And before we lose everything, we're about to make a power move. Do I have a woman in the house today that'll say, I've been down long enough. I've been nice long enough. I've been easy going long enough. But I believe before I lose it all, that it's time for me to make a power move. Do I have a woman in the house today that'll say, I've been pushing long enough. I've been pulling long enough. I've been scraping long enough. But it's time for me to make a power move. And I need a bold woman in the house today that'll just give me a good amen and say, whether you know it or not, that I've got some power. Whether you know it or not, I'm a force to be reckoned with. Whether you know it or not, it's more to me than what it looks like. Come on and look at somebody with an attitude and say, whether you know it or not, I come with a whole lot of power. Whether you know it or not, I'm a movement by myself. I got some strength that you never seen. So let me introduce you to the power that's within me. Let me introduce you to the savage that's within me. Because I waited as long as I could. I've been patient as long as I could. But now if I'm going to get my inheritance, I'm going to have to use my power. Do I have a woman in the house today that says, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of being patient. I'm tired of going along to get along. Now I'm going to have to use my power. Well, what are you going to use your power for, Pastor Kim? I can tap into the power within me and begin to initiate a transfer. To initiate a transfer. Because the Bible says that Moses brought their case before the Lord. And the Lord said, transfer their inheritance. Oh, y'all are with me in here today. It says Moses brought the case before the Lord. And the Lord said, transfer their inheritance. When the women stood up, they initiated a transfer. When the women opened their mouth, they initiated a transfer. When the women got in the temple and got bold before the Lord, they initiated a transfer. I dare a woman in this house that's been waiting on something. I dare a woman in this house that really needs something to open up your mouth in the midst of this temple and begin to rejection into resurrection. I'm going to transfer my weeping into worship. I'm going to transfer my test into a testimony. Somebody open up your mouth and begin to initiate what you want God to do. I'm going to transfer my abortion to absolution. I'm going to transfer my divorce into discovery. I'm going to transfer my bankruptcy into beauty. I don't know about you, but I need some stuff to move. I don't know about you, but I need some stuff to shift. So I gotta open my mouth and say, God, I need you to move it. God, I need you to shift it. God, I need you to change it. God, I need you to fix it. There is some stuff in my life that continues to be out of place. There is some stuff in my life that continues to be a struggle. So I gotta do something before I lose it all. I refuse to lose my children. I refuse to lose my mind. I refuse to lose my place. I refuse to lose my marriage. I refuse to lose my sanity. I refuse to lose my position. I refuse to lose my calling. I refuse to lose my purpose. I refuse to lose my future. I refuse to lose my grandchildren. I refuse to lose my house. I refuse to lose my job. God, I need you to move some stuff. Somebody open up your mouth and lift up your hands and say, God, I need some stuff to move before I lose it all. God, I need a transfer. God, I need a transfer. God, I need a transfer before I lose it all. Somebody say, I refuse to lose it all. This is my business. This is my husband. And I refuse to lose what God said belongs to me. Can I get a woman to just wave her hand? If you say, I refuse. I refuse to lose it all. I already lost enough. I already forfeited enough.
That's right.
Already delayed enough.
Yes.
I refuse to lose everything.
Yes.
Everything. I took my losses with grace. I still acted with compassion. I kept my head up and I stayed faithful. But because of that, I refuse to let the enemy take everything.
That's right.
Because there is some stuff that God said belonged to me. And I can't let the enemy have it without putting up a fight.
That's right.
My God. Amen.
Can I teach us quickly as women today? Life is going to have some losses. There are some things that we're going to lose and we're going to have to be okay with. But we cannot let ourselves be lulled into being okay with the loser mentality. You were not born to lose.
Amen.
You were not born to continually be on the bottom. There are some things that God said you can have. And we got to figure out what's standing between us and what God promised us. And we got to get up and stand flat-footed between us and that thing. Say, I refuse to lose it all.
Yeah.
I lost before, and I kept on going. I kept on smiling. I kept on praying.
Yeah.
But this thing, if God told you it belongs to you, you got to make a refusal. Say, this thing you cannot have.
No, you're right.
God said it was mine.
All right.
The doors of the church are open.